Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Mike from the Rewatch Project and I am a Star Trek fan watching classic Doctor Who for the first time, and I've reached the second episode of the Keys of Marinus miniseries, namely the episode The Velvet Web. Apologies for being off the air for a short period of time. Work has been a little bit crazy recently, and with Easter and all, it has been difficult to get in front of the camera, but rest assured I am back and I will have a continued regular updates of these first-time watches from this Doctor Who novice. Quick reminder that I appreciate feedback. The best way to do that is just through the comment section of the YouTube channel. So please, any thoughts, feedback, suggestions, or education for this absolute Doctor Who noob would be greatly appreciated. But I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to get straight into things. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with this six-part, I believe it is, miniseries, The Keys of Marinus. So we will now move on to the second episode. Let's check it out. I've missed watching Doctor Who because I only watch it when I do these videos, so I've got to hold off until I can record, which is a bit of a mixed blessing. You know, there are some days where I do just want to whack one on and watch it, but it's what it is. The Velvet Web. Terry Nation. I assume he writes all of these.
No, surely she'd wait for us.
Of course she would.
No, it seems there's only one conclusion. Whatever it is lives behind that door must have taken her by force.
Well, let's get inside.
No. Don't let us be precipitous.
Doctor, there's blood on this.
Let's not be precipitous.
Maybe
Love it.
We can't argue now.
Yes.
It's all gone a bit Zardoz. Very Star Trek music there from the 60 series.
Don't believe it.
Ian, Susan, I'm glad you're here.
Oh, she's not exactly been roughing it. Looking very glamorous and bohemian there.
I'm a little better than frightened and tried to tear it off my wrist.
Very 60s Star Trek. The music feels very of a piece with that original 60s show. And just the idea of them being in this opulent kind of Greek, Roman type of environment is straight out of Who Mourns for Adonais or, one of those classic 1960s Star Trek episodes.
Just scratch.
Well, she's running the place.
You may be seated.
Your Royal Highness is most
Rather pleasant.
Sensuous and decadent, but rather pleasant. That's a great way of putting that, Doc.
I say, is it?
I'd probably have more questions than they've got here, but let's see. Let's see how this plays out. Such a 1960s view of finery. You know, you see these old adverts, these old print adverts for glamorous, aspirational foods from the 1960s. And it feels very, very consistent with what we're seeing here. I remember when I was a kid, we'd have birthday parties or events like bonfire night, and you'd have the baked potatoes with foil and around them, and pineapple and cheese cubes on cocktail sticks. That was seen as being like this real classic, classy finery that you'd have just on special occasions. Very English.
This is where we pay the bill.
Oh, relax, Ian.
Ian's actually being the smart one here. Cynical but smart. He's like, nothing comes for free. I've got a bad feeling about this, as Han Solo would say, a decade and a half later.
Shall have the dress.
Thank you.
Proper British patriarch there, We can't have nice things.
Well,
Now, as it is late, I suggest you sleep.
Very Star Trek. It's like the Q or the Trelane or something.
Good night.
In this series. Serious and earnest.
charming young man. Yes, charming.
Yes.
Excitement's been too much for Susan, too. Come on.
Wow. He's just passed out. I don't seem too concerned, though.
He didn't blink once.
I would not have noticed that.
Am I being ridiculous?
Yes. You feel differently in the morning.
Bit of chemistry between them there. I'm probably just reading into it because I'm programmed to expect that, but they got very close to each other there. Yeah, check on Sue. Yeah, you see, this is all suspiciously soporific. Okay, yeah, I was going to say the eyes. Something had to happen with the eyes. You don't have eyes without something happening to the eyes. Like Chekhov's gun. Oh, there's going to be some kind of brain sucking going on. Getting a brain sucking vibe. Good, subtle sound design is probably not picking up on this, but considering TVs back then were just these little crappy things that were stuck in the corner of a room, it's it's a level of attention to detail that's probably not necessary, but very noticed and appreciated. Doesn't bode well. Put it back on your head. Suspiciously deep sleep.
Hmm? Oh, this. Oh, I don't know. Just a sort of mild irritation on the forehead. It's nothing at all.
No, there's nothing there. I only mention it because I have rather a sore spot here myself.
Oh.
Oh, look!
It's the brain sucking.
Look, Grandfather, it's my...
Oh, okay. It's all a bit Matrix, isn't it?
Why have they changed it?
It's interesting as well that they're doing a bit of stuff with POV. I mean, I get the reason for doing that in this scene, but again, pretty interesting, dare I say, sophisticated techniques for the time. But again, this idea of living in a false reality as well, that's a great classic sci-fi idea.
Same, Barbara. Look, they put in my dress.
Makes them feel like a threat almost.
They've given us everything.
Come on, Ian, where's cynicism from a few minutes ago? Oh, freaky man.
She's overwrought. I'll deal with it. You stay here.
The hysterical woman. Overwrought. Yeah, it's that's of the era. But again, what do you want? She's 60 years old, for goodness sake. I mean, the female characters, particularly Barbara, are downright progressive if you look at them within the context of the times and the show. So I don't mean to sound dismissive when I say handwave this, but again, to apply modern mores to this is it's incorrect. It's an error to do that, And this idea of being the only one who can see the truth, the boy who cried werewolf kind of thing. It's a great idea. It's so relatable. I think anyone can relate to that idea of being the existential dread of being the only person who really knows the truth and can see the world for how it is. It's what made, again, the Matrix such a cultural phenomena. Everybody understands that on some level. Oh, I love that creature design.
One of the women has resisted the power of the
I mentioned Invaders from Mars, I think, on a recent episode as well, and a head in a jar was the alien design in that. So these things in jars are great ideas, but no, I love it. Love it when they go truly alien. They remove all of those anthropomorphic elements almost completely.
She has escaped into the city.
I love the way they're shooting this through the glass. And again, if you look at this, they're just shooting in a black room, and there's probably budgetary reasons for that. And it really does make it feel, connected to radio and theatre. But it works because what you're seeing here is creative, artistic framing. And also, maybe it is just a black room. This is an alien environment. Minimalism would not be completely unrealistic. But I think just, necessity being the mother of invention, and the fact that they're using creative solutions and making things that are interesting stylistically with very little says a lot, Good hiding.
In anything like
I think I shall find considerable scope here.
Again, a great...
Isn't that a cyclotron?
Huh? Oh, yes.
Again, a great way of saving money, They can just stop showing everything and just have it in the mind's eye of the characters. It's genius.
A simple toy.
They really can do it, eh? They can give you anything you ask for.
No, they can't, mate. So they just forget the real world eventually. Their memories atrophy or something. Recommend some kind of adhesive material for the memory discs in future. Just, a suggestion.
Their will beginning to weaken, memory is fading.
Ah, okay, I see. Solid science fiction ideas here. I'm starting to get the sense that Terry Nation is the sci-fi guy on the show.
If you fail, you will be killed.
Right, no thinly veiled threats here. I love the hiding. Yeah, you get him.
Oh, thank heaven I
again, very, very Cold War science fiction, particularly American Cold War science fiction, this idea of replacement or being enthralled or mind control, in Invaders from Mars, he's your dad not being your dad anymore and acting in a trance-like way. This idea of losing free will and it's a very, very of its time. I mean, probably even earlier, I guess. This was a big theme in the 50s in science fiction, and it's very present and correct here. There's horror in that idea.
So, she has been caught. You have done well and proved yourself worthy.
It's disgusting. Ian, can't you see how you're being used?
We are the masters of this place. Our brains outgrew our bodies. It is our intelligence that has created this whole city.
Brains in a jar.
We need the help of the human body to feed us and to carry out our orders.
You use your people to act as
Didn't
machines
think
for-
about that when you got rid of bodies, did you? Oh, look at him.
The human body is the most flexible instrument in the world. No single mechanical...
You probably shouldn't have got rid of him then, should you?
ability and dexterity.
Oh, he's gone a bit flaccid now.
It's all right, Ian.
He's back.
Goodbye, my child.
Susan.
Oh dear. She's drawn the shitty end of the stick. Oh, I can see where the title of The Screaming Jungle comes from. Okay, so very sci-fi. Lots of science fiction ideas and genre ideas in that episode. Went by really quickly. Again, we see secondary characters who aren't dragging the storyline down yet, at least. So that's good. But this idea of people being pacified and put into like a soporific stupor by fake appearance of comfort and opulence is an idea that we see again and again in science fiction. And the way it's presented, that kind of, as I say, that kind of Greco-Roman, reclining with grapes presentation, feels very much like what Star Trek was doing at the time. It feels very 60s, and I enjoy that about it. So yeah, this is a fun episode. It's good to see some interesting filmmaking techniques in this, some interesting visuals, framing, and choices to film through things and from points of view that you don't normally see. And seeing the characters acting a little bit out of character as well is really interesting. It just, again, shows the elasticity of not just the concept, but the characters and the performances and the filmmaking style, considering the restrictions that they had. So, really fun episode. I'm looking forward to seeing the part 3, The Screaming Jungle. Looking forward to that. And please do comment on the YouTube channel. Share this. A couple of people pointed out that the episodes are showing as already being out for a couple of days before they're showing up as viewable on YouTube, and that this might actually be affecting how the episodes are presented or found by people. I'd be curious to know if anybody's got any advice about this, because the reason for it is that I'm getting hit with copyright for these episodes, but I'm responding with a fair use claim and being successful. But it means that the episodes are posted and then are invisible for 48 hours until I go through that rather annoying process. So I don't know whether there's any way of getting around that, or any way of making the episode appear as being, quote, new, when it does actually become clear. I don't know whether maybe if I post it as being invisible or something. I don't know whether there's some solution to that, but that's why that is. And if anybody's got any ideas or any thoughts or any insights on that, that'd be helpful. But of course, any insights into Doctor Who as well on this storyline, and what you think of this storyline and the coverage, and any behind the scenes bits and pieces or little bits of Doctor Who education, are, as always, very much appreciated. So please do leave comments on the YouTube channel. You can also email me at rewatchprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And please do not forget to also check out the Rewatch Project podcast, the audio show that is also on this YouTube channel as well, from which the channel gets its name. So for now, that is it, and I'll be back very soon with The Screaming Jungle.